Chapter 6: The Assassination of JFK. Who really pulled the trigger? The assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963, shocked the world and sent America spiraling into an era of suspicion, grief, and unanswered questions. More than 6 decades later, the question remains: who really pulled the trigger? The official story, crafted by the Warren Commission, declared that a lone gunman, Harvey Oswald, acting without accomplices or ideological backing, fired 3 shots from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository in Dallas. But for many, this explanation never sufficed. The inconsistencies, the contradictions, the lost and sealed evidence, all seemed to whisper of something deeper, something hidden. The scene in Dallas. It was a clear, bright Friday afternoon when President Kennedy's motorcade turned onto Dealey Plaza. Just seconds later, shots rang out. Kennedy was fatally struck, Governor John Connally was seriously wounded, and a stunned nation watched the dream of Camelot die in an instant. Harvey Oswald was arrested just hours later, accused of both Kennedy's assassination and the murder of Dallas police officer J.D. Tippit. 2 days later, Oswald himself was murdered on live television by nightclub owner Jack Ruby, effectively silencing the only man who might have explained his actions. The Warren Commission and the lone gunman theory. The Warren Commission was established by President Lyndon B. Johnson to investigate the assassination. Their 888-page report, published in 1964, concluded that Oswald had acted alone. But the public was unconvinced. From the outset, the Commission's work was plagued by gaps and controversies, uncooperative witnesses, missing documents, and inconsistent testimony. FBI and CIA involvement was minimized or obscured. Autopsy reports were inconsistent. The infamous magic bullet theory, suggesting one bullet caused multiple wounds in both Kennedy and Connally, became a symbol of disbelief. Dissenting voices and alternate theories. Almost immediately, alternative theories began to emerge, many pointing to a broader conspiracy. 1. The CIA. Some believe the CIA orchestrated the hit, either in retaliation for Kennedy's perceived lack of support during the Bay of Pigs invasion or his growing inclination to dismantle the intelligence community. Kennedy had expressed skepticism of the CIA's growing power, and he famously declared his desire to splinter it into 1,000 pieces. 2. The Mafia. Kennedy's crackdown on organized crime, particularly led by his brother Attorney General Robert Kennedy, made the Mafia a suspect. Many figures in organized crime believe the Kennedys had double-crossed them, especially after they had allegedly helped JFK win key votes in the 1960 election. 3. Anti-Castro Cubans. JFK's failure to support the Cuban exiles during the Bay of Pigs invasion and his subsequent back-channel negotiations with Fidel Castro angered militant anti-communists. Some theorists suggest that Cuban exiles, possibly backed by rogue elements of the CIA, had motive and means to eliminate him. 4. The military-industrial complex. President Eisenhower had warned against the unchecked power of the military-industrial complex. Kennedy's push toward de-escalating the Cold War, including his desire to exit Vietnam, posed a threat to defense contractors, Pentagon officials, and hardline generals. The Zapruder film and the Back and to the Left debate. The 26-second film taken by Abraham Zapruder became a cornerstone of public suspicion. Frame by frame, it shows the fatal headshot jerking Kennedy backward, seemingly inconsistent with a shot from behind. While some experts argue this motion could be due to neuromuscular responses, others believe it suggests a second shooter. Eyewitnesses reported shots from the grassy knoll. Audio recordings suggest more than 3 shots may have been fired. Yet the Warren Commission dismissed these claims. The House Select Committee and the possibility of conspiracy. In 1979, the United States House Select Committee on Assassinations, HSCA, concluded that Kennedy was probably assassinated as a result of a conspiracy. They cited acoustic evidence that suggested 4 shots had been fired, though later analysis cast doubt on this conclusion. Despite this dramatic statement, no further prosecutions or public investigations followed. The documents still hidden. Thousands of documents related to the assassination remain classified or heavily redacted, fueling continued speculation. In 2017 and 2021, partial declassifications were made, but many pages were withheld due to national security concerns. What threat could a decades-old assassination pose to modern national security, unless something remains to be concealed? The enduring mystery. Was Oswald truly a lone wolf with a communist ideology and a mail-order rifle? Or was he a patsy, as he himself claimed, caught in a web of covert operations, false flags, and political treachery? The assassination of John F. Kennedy remains a turning point in American history, a moment where innocence was lost, trust was broken, and the shadows began to deepen around democracy itself.